Okay, here's the thing. This is such a big matchup between Michigan and Penn State that I have to do a second video correcting myself a little bit and going further in depth. Originally, I thought Michigan would win 38-27, and everyone says it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I see a lot of 20-20 predictions, one way or the other. I still think that Michigan can score. Both of these defenses, I thought, are susceptible to maybe some big plays, and maybe it's the best team that they've played for both schools all season. Maybe some points will be scored. But this week, Michigan is going into this game on defense. Let's talk about the defense, okay? Michigan's defense, they're just realizing their potential. They're just scratching the ceiling of what they can do. And it's getting better. The defense is better each week in Big Ten play. The defensive line still has something to prove to me and, to a lot of people. They're hit or miss in some of these games. They have more sacks, though, than last year at this point, but it's versus lesser competition at this point, and they've given up some big runs as well, which last year's team did not do very, very often up until this point. So, and there's different opponents and whatnot, but the linebacker core as well for Michigan's defense has not been great covering, and that's the key. That's the key for Michigan. If the defensive line isn't getting there, the linebackers have to cover. It starts with that defensive line. Can we get home versus this Penn State offensive line? I think so. Sean Clifford is mobile, but the linebacker core, it seems like we miss Nakai Hill-Green. He would be a huge factor there. In the secondary, has covered some good talent. So I thought, when I said in the last video, in the Penn State preview, that Michigan will get passed on, I thought it would be intermediate, against them linebackers, not our cornerbacks. So I want to specify that. And, it comes down to them defensive linemen. I think they're going to get there this week. The more that I've looked into everything. Now let's talk about the offense versus the Penn State defense. I still think 38 points are likely. J.J. McCarthy isn't perfect, but who really is perfect as a quarterback? Nobody. I mean, he's improved every single week, and it's only his fifth start. He had 300 yards last game versus Indiana on the road. It's at home now. Penn State's defense is going to be better. Imagine the numbers that JJ would have, though, if he played more than a half in the first 3 games of the season. So, and he's hamstrung by the Harbaugh offense, and Harbaugh just does this with quarterbacks, tries to constrict them and don't do anything bad. Well, that takes away their natural God-given talents. And we got to get away from that. Please, Harbaugh, get away from that. And I think in the second half versus Indiana, when they scored 21 and shut them out, they did that. They took the handcuffs off, and they moved the ball versus Indiana. Now, he needs to learn a few things. He needs to keep the ball when the read defender, the end, crashes down. Keep the ball. He hasn't done that a few times, and I don't know if that's because the coach, like I said, is telling him just hand it off. We do not want you getting hurt. Cade McNamara is injured. We need you out there. Or is it him just not making that read? I don't know. I don't know that yet. But if it's open, please keep it, and more bootlegs for him. Uh, get get outside the pocket and throw it downfield because he's really accurate there. And I heard a stat too. He's 22 of 25 on play action for 300 some yards. So when Penn State loads the box, that's my next point right here. When Penn State loads the box, I look to see JJ and the coaching staff to adjust. Does JJ have the power to see that and change the play, whether it's play action or straight drop back, get it out over top of the linebackers that are up, safeties that are up? Can we do that with the weapons that are outside? Have we been saving that? A lot of people think so. I am a firm believer in doing it versus weaker competition before you have to versus the better competition, but that's not what we've done. And have we been saving it? I hope so. I hope so, because that's what we need to do as an offense. So can they start off with that type of action, play action when they're in the box, and drop back passes to open it up? If Penn State's not going to allow us to run, we have to loosen that defense for the running game. And if we can do that, then the game's over. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards are going to tear them up if we can get players out of the box. So, it's all about that balance. People are going to creep up if we cannot throw it over top. And JJ's missed some deep balls. He says it's his shoulder is back to 100%, so he doesn't really know his potential and power that he has right now. We'll see. We'll see what he can do, if that's true or if it's just an excuse. Let's talk about Michigan special teams. They have a top special teams unit in the nation, one of them, and that could make an impact on the game as well. If we call on Jake Moody, he will deliver. He'll make a field goal if we need to. I'm confident in that. His percentage, he was a Lou Groza Award winner last year. Brad Robbins was a punter of the year semifinalist. I don't know who that's named after. Ray guy, I think. But he can flip the field if we need to as well. The return game can be special too with A.J. Henning. He can flip the field for Michigan or get a score. Let's go back to defense real quick. No defensive touchdowns, I believe, all season. That's got to change. We've had drop pick sixes, 3 or 4 of them. And these cornerbacks and defensive backs, defensive ends even, you got to catch them. Please catch those balls. It could be the difference. Sean Clifford, I think, is the key to this game. Will he be calm, cool, and collected versus this Michigan defense? Or will he run for his life and force get turned over, throw interceptions? Can he run for some critical third downs, and critical drives where they need to keep up, where they need to get ahead or, tie the game, whatever? Can he do that? Because I think Michigan's defense is susceptible to a quarterback run from time to time. And we haven't seen a whole lot of running back screens. A couple that we did see a couple versus Indiana, but the defensive linemen were on top of it already. They realized what was happening and got on it, which led to a big sack in last week's game. The other thing about Sean Clifford is he is tough. He can take a beating and get right back up and throw a dime the next play. So you cannot give up and loosen tighten the reins, I guess, of the defense. Loosen the reins at that point. Get them. Get them. It's a maze out. It's at home. Big Noon. We're undefeated this year because Big Noon's there. No, not because they're there, but they like watching Michigan. The 1997 national championship team is being honored. The 25-year anniversary of that. I still have Michigan scoring 38, but I have Penn State with 17 now. That's the difference in my prediction. And you can go watch my preview. It has all kinds of player stats and team stats in it that I did not put in this video that still apply. So go watch that video and like this video and share it with your friends. And thank you, everybody. It's going to be a great game, a great Saturday. A lot of great games. So if Michigan can come out with a win at home, then it's going to be a fun day to just sit back and watch all the other teams go at it. So thank you, and have a great day, like I said, and go Blue.